Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom meal plan, whether you're a morning lifter, a late afternoon lifter, or an evening lifter. Before I get into this topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. If you need coaching, I'd love to work with you. Check out the link down below. All right, let's dive into things. I'm going to show you guys how to build a meal plan, whether you lift in the morning, the afternoon, or the night. This is a simple structure that can help you put together something to back your gym efforts. Now, before we dive into things, I want you to understand that the information presented in this video, the only way to meal plan it. It's a general template or structure that can help you maximize your daily nutrition. All right, let's dive in. Morning lifter edition. We're going to use 6:30 as the time our lifter hits the gym approximately, and you can adjust based on the time you hit the gym. So you can see here we have 6:30 penciled in for our gym time. We're going to assume the gym time takes about 75 minutes, maybe 90 minutes max. Now, the first thing you want to do is when you get out of bed, you're going to be very depleted when it comes to water and when it comes to electrolytes or sodium. Now, salt is basically the energy electrolyte, not to dumb things down too much. But first thing in the morning, if you're going to be lifting first thing in the morning, right out of bed, you want to intake some water and preferably at minimum a little bit of salt. I would suggest hitting 8 to 10 ounces of water straight out of bed with a little bit of salt. You could take an electrolyte tab as well. But let's get the system jump started, hydrated, get some electrolytes in the system, etc. Now you can also add in a little bit of simple carbs straight out of bed. If you're feeling a little flat, this isn't a bad idea at all. This could be a half a banana. It could be something sweet to get some simple carbs in your system, whatever works for you. Now, immediately after your workout, you're feeling a little bit depleted and your body is ready for food. It's ready to enter recovery mode. So this is a good time to add some fast digesting protein and carbs. Let's get some food into the system. Let's make it fast digesting so it's easy to digest and easy to access for the body. This is a good time at 8:30 post-workout to add in some fast digesting carbs or simple sugars and something like a whey protein shake. Now, you're going to have a bigger meal soon with more complex carbs and some animal-based protein. But for now, right after lifting, let's get something into the system and get recovery started. Now, moving on to your big meal, your post-workout, your real meal. You have complex carbs and heavy protein. When I say heavy protein here, you want a little bit extra protein than normal. Generally, I'd advocate anywhere from 25 to 40 grams of protein per snack or meal. Here, you probably want 50, 60, maybe even 70 grams of protein. You want to have some complex carbs in the mix. This could be rice, this could be oatmeal, this could be potatoes. And this is also a good time to add in some plant-based choices, whatever you like. It doesn't really matter to fill in the micronutrient cracks. You just finished working out, so we want to get some micronutrients into the system. When I say plant-based, this could be anything, strawberries, this could be onions, jalapenos, this could be broccoli, this could be carrots, whatever you prefer. You don't have to go overboard, but this is a good time to get that sort of thing in. All right, so moving on to the rest of your meals for that day. You don't have to eat a protein snack at 12, at 3, and right before bed at 9. But if you wanted to, this would be a good time to work something in. These protein snacks are basically probably at minimum 20 to 25 grams of protein, depending on your macronutrient goals. And they could really be anything. They could be hard-boiled eggs. They could be string cheese. They could be Greek yogurt. They could even be a whey shake or a protein bar. And if you want to add anything to these protein snacks based on your daily macronutrient intake, some complex carbs, some fruit, whatever, you could add that in. Your big meal around 6 o'clock, that's going to be about 8 hours after your last big complex carb feeding. So this is really a good time, dinner time, to get some complex carbs and some protein in your system. And again, you want to add in a few plant-based choices if you can to round out your micronutrient intake. So that's really it for creating a meal plan for the morning lifter. Let's move on to the late afternoon lifter. It's going to be a lot of the same thing. So here, the late afternoon lifter is going to hit the gym about 3 p.m. Just like our early morning lifter, there's no downside to having water and sodium or salt straight out of bed. Let's get the body moving. Let's get some water in the system. We're a little bit underhydrated. Let's get some electrolytes in the system. We're probably feeling a little bit low on energy. While we're so used to taking in caffeine first thing in the morning, there's a lot of benefit that can be derived from taking in salt and electrolytes first thing in the morning. Again, you're depleted. And I've seen some cases where people were doing some extended fasting on YouTube. When they added in sodium or electrolytes, they felt better. They felt more energy. So this is just a stupid, simple way to start your day that has no downsides. Now, because we're lifting at 3 o'clock, we'll pencil in here our post-workout meal, again, which is going to be fast digesting carbs and a protein shake. For reference, when I was a younger lifter, what I would often do I'd have like a Little Debbie, or I'd have little chocolate donuts, and I'd have chocolate milk to go with it. Sometimes I would have one of those apple pies, those crappy processed apple pies from the store, and some chocolate milk or a whey shake. But I would always have a whey shake or a chocolate milk. Back then, my metabolism was through the roof, and I was probably bulking at 4,000 plus calories. So having chocolate milk post-workout made a little bit of sense. It had some simple sugars as well. But I would get in my 30 grams of protein immediately, and then take in something like a Little Debbie, something like some simple fruit if you wanted to, or if you want to be crazy like me, one of those cherry apple pies. So next, we're going to pencil in our big, important post-workout meal. You hit the gym at 3. Immediately when you were done, you had some fast digesting carbs and something like a whey shake to get recovery started, to get some protein in your system, to kind of help kickstart muscle glycogen. Now it's time for that big meal. You're going to have heavy protein, at least 50 grams of protein, 50 to 70, maybe more if you're really super fired up. 50 to 70 grams of protein, maybe a little bit more if you want. And this is a time to add in your complex carbs, your rice, your potatoes, and your veggies. Now for the rest of the meal slots, you can see at 10:30 a.m. we penciled in some complex carbs. Immediately when you get up, you probably want to have something for breakfast. We don't want to go crazy, but you could have Greek yogurt and fruit. You could have eggs. You could have string cheese. You could have string cheese and a banana. That's something I used to do. But you're going to get up. You're going to have a small protein snack to get your day started, to get some protein into the system, to get some carbs into the system. Many of us struggle to get in a big meal first thing in the morning. So it's probably a better idea to push that big complex carb meal to something like 10:30 or 11. And it doesn't have to be a big meal. When it says complex carbs and protein, it could simply be a small serving of potatoes or rice with some eggs or some chicken or some pork loin or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be super calorie intense. You could also put in at this time something that you meal prepped, like a meal prepped meal, or you could get one of those high protein meals from Walmart, or one of the purchased meals that you get from these meal prep companies that has, 300, 400, 500 calories. At 1 o'clock, you have room for some protein and some minor carbs. You're going to hit the gym at 3. So you want to make sure to get in some minor carbs about 1 p.m. It doesn't matter. You could do a banana. You could do a little bit of rice. You could do a little bit of potatoes. We don't want to be super stuffed hitting the gym at 3 o'clock. You also don't want to feel hungry. You want to feel like you have some glycogen in the muscles. You want to feel normal, right? So make sure this meal also has some sodium. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have some potassium in this meal, like potassium-based foods, potatoes, tomatoes, mushrooms, that sort of thing. And again, 9 o'clock, that's optional. If you have room for protein before bed or you want a little protein snack, hit it up. What I typically do is Greek yogurt mixed with frozen berries. It has blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, or raspberries. Or if you're a little bit short on calories, just go full pig and have a little bit of ice cream. Now, finally, we're going to look at a meal plan for somebody that lifts probably around 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock, somebody that lifts a little bit later during the day. Here we're going to pencil it in about 6 p.m. The same principles apply. You're going to get up in the morning, have some water and salt. You don't have to do the simple carbs, but you could if you're feeling a little bit flat. Then we're going to pencil in our post-workout meal. Now here, we're leaving the gym. You could still have a whey shake and some fast digesting carbs if you wanted to immediately after hitting the gym. But odds are you're going to come home and you're going to eat your big meal and likely go to bed. So that's immediate post-workout meal of fast digesting carbs and protein is optional. It might make more sense just to save the stomach and go for the heavy protein, complex carbs, and get in your veggies. So since we're lifting at about 6 o'clock, you want to make sure about somewhere around 4 o'clock, give or take, that you get in your protein at least 20 to 25 grams. And you want to get in, again, some form of carbs. So you go into your workout without feeling that depletion in your muscles. This could be simple carbs. It could be a banana. It could be a little bit of oatmeal. It could be a little bit of rice, whatever you prefer. Just make sure you enter your workout not feeling hungry or over full. Now, at 1 o'clock, we're going to make sure that we get in some complex carbs. Again, this doesn't have to be a big meal, but we want to get in some animal-based protein here and some complex carbs, chicken, pork loin, eggs, beef, turkey, whatever you want, seafood, and a complex carb source. Again, quinoa, rice, potatoes, even oatmeal if you like your late afternoon oatmeal. It doesn't really matter. And for your first 2 meals of the day, very simple, nothing heavy. You're going to get in some protein. You're going to get in some carbs if you want, maybe fruit, maybe a little bit of moderate complex carbs, whatever you prefer. My early morning meals often revolved around egg mash, which was hard-boiled eggs mashed up with a little bit of Greek yogurt. And I'd add in like diced onion or diced radish or diced jalapeno. I'd also do things like hard-boiled eggs and a banana or 4 pieces of light string cheese and a banana. That's something I used to do at work when I wanted to snack and not have a big meal. Grapes work really well. They're easy to snack on. And during this time, if you're low on fats or you need extra calories, you could snack on things like almonds or pistachios. So there you have it, guys, how to create a meal plan based on the time of day that you're working on. If you have any questions, I'd love to help. You can hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman or DM me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. You can also email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. So guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.